2023 ended up being a fantastic year if you're a kaiju fan. We had a lot of kaiju content. And boy, let me tell you, now that we're in 2024, I think it's something we're certainly going to miss, considering that right now, the only movie we know of is Godzilla x Kong. Yes, there are still rumors out there about a Cloverfield 2, when that may come out, whether it's later this year or sometime next year, or if it's ever even going to be created. Then there was the whole rumor about the Disney King Kong show, and to be quite honest, I'm not very optimistic about that considering where that company is at right now. But 2023 was a special year. It was a year that I had never seen before in my life, and I've been watching kaiju movies since I was 3 years old. And now that we're in 2024, I kind of want to take a look back at everything we experienced last year, because I think it might be something we should have to savor when you consider that, well, this year doesn't really look very packed, to be honest. So we're going to start off with Monarch and Monarch Legacy of Monsters, since that just finished wrapping up last week. And you know, I did a review on this just to kind of give it a little short recap. I thought that overall it was a decent show. I thought it was a solid start to what looks to be somewhat of a promising monster related show. And I know it doesn't have a lot of monster action in it, but I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that's a good thing, because they have developed a great they have developed something with potential when it comes to the Monarch organization. It's almost like you know, it's almost like its own what's the SCP, you know what I mean? Only this, not to that degree, of course, in terms of lore and in terms of wildness. But the point I'm trying to make is that it's an organization that handles and deals with things that most people will never see more than once, if anything. And you know, when it comes to monsters, or depending on how Legendary wants to take it, if they ever do like a Destroy All Monsters type thing. But Monarch, I thought, was a solid start. You know, it had a very weak middle, but it had a strong beginning and had a strong ending. And the monster action, when it did show up on screen, was solid. And I think for the most part, people are okay with it. I think people are kind of just still kind of waiting to see if there's going to be a season 2, how that's gonna pan out. A lot of people seem to be very happy with the Kong cameo at the very end of the show. And spoilers, sorry, but if you haven't seen it by now, just, you know, I don't know what to tell you. It's been out for a while now. So but yeah, so we had Monarch. And then before that, we had the Godzilla Celebration, right? And we had the Godzilla versus Megalon short film, and then we had the Godzilla and Jet Jaguar short film. So I mean, that, and then on top of that, Godzilla Fest in Japan turns out to be one of their most one of their biggest, or excuse me, I should say, had the most attendance, not only internationally and overseas, but they had a very good turnout. And then that's when we saw the trailer for Godzilla -1, which we'll get to that in a minute. So earlier than that, you know, I'm kind of sticking with the shows here. We had the Gamma Rebirth animated series, which was really good. That was very entertaining. I know a lot of people don't like the kid stuff. I normally don't either. But in this sense, we know that Gamera is a kid-friendly monster for the most part. And you're going to get that in any kind of Gamera movie or Gamera show. But even still, I thought that the kids in this show were pretty well written. And while there was some crazy things going on in the show, it was very entertaining. It surprisingly told a pretty good story, considering it was such a short series. Each episode was only a half hour long, and every episode he was fighting a new monster. So consider all that packed into what, maybe over 3 hours worth of content, and you still got a pretty decent story on top of that. I was pretty impressed with what they were able to pull off with Gamma Rebirth. And then earlier in the year, before that, we had Skull Island on Netflix. So yeah, there was that. Now, I can't say much about Skull Island. I never saw it. I was going to, and then there were a lot of people saying how bad it was and how poor it was. It didn't seem to be received well. And I decided I was just going to skip it for the time being. I didn't feel a need or a rush to watch it. And then I just never got around to it, to be honest. I mean, I'm not a big Kong fan to begin with, which is why I'm always shitting on him. But I just never got around to it. And looking at the trailers, I thought it looked good, but then the more people I heard talk about it, the more I was like, okay, maybe I'll be patient on this one and I'll wait. Now I probably won't ever really see it. I don't have Netflix anymore, and even if I do sign up for Netflix again, it's not going to be to watch Skull Island. It's going to be to watch either the last season of Stranger Things or the last season of Karate Kid, and that's about it. So, and then from a movie perspective, obviously Godzilla Minus One took the year by storm, the end of the year by storm. Everybody's very excited about it. And look, it was a great movie. You know, I know, like I said, I'm not going to get too deep into it. You guys know how I feel about the movie. I think it's excellent with a very unfortunate, pretty bad third act. And, you know, but even still, that doesn't take away what was overall accomplished from the movie. It was well paced in the very beginning to the very middle. I thought the acting was on point. The special effects is the best Toho's ever done. And I think things are looking up for Toho in that direction. And when the MonsterVerse comes to an end, when Toho decides to take the reins back, and I think they're in good hands. I think they have a pretty good sustainable future for Godzilla and their creations. And maybe it won't be on the par that it is now, because, you know, right now it's a combination of Legendary and Toho, and when you have two companies from different sides of the world working on the same IP, you're gonna get more eyes in front of it. Where, you know, once it sticks to one or the other, you know, there's it's almost like they're bouncing off each other right now, which is a good thing. And so 2023 was just fantastic. And looking back on it, I can't believe that we got so much kaiju content. And even the year before that, we got some pretty good stuff. I mean, remember, we had Troll. That turned out to be a pretty good monster movie. There were other independent monster films that turned out to be really good. There was The Lake, that I heard was very good. I haven't seen it yet, but I got really good reviews. And so this monster kaiju renaissance that we've been going through the last couple of years, especially ever since Godzilla vs. Kong, where it's really catapulted, it's been a lot of fun. And this year doesn't look as active as last year was. I mean, we are going to get Godzilla x Kong, so from now until April, the excitement level is going to be pretty high, and it's going to get higher until the movie comes out. We all see it, and then after that, things will tamper down a little bit. Now, of course, there's still news. News is always fun to look forward to. So obviously, we're going to be waiting on bated breath to see if there's going to be a Monarch Legacy of Monsters Season 2. We're still waiting on news, if it ever is going to happen, that we're going to get a Cloverfield 2 movie. Last I heard, they were going through with it. They had hired a director, and we haven't heard shit since. But that is the way of Cloverfield. Nobody heard about Cloverfield until we saw the trailer back in 2007, or at least until I saw it. And then the movie came out in January of 2008, and it was a big hit. So we don't know what's going on there. Then there is the Disney Kong series, which even if we get news, I mean, unless the trailer is drop dead awesome, I'm really not very optimistic about Disney doing a King Kong show. So not really looking forward to that one until I see some evidence that Disney is kind of starting to turn the page a little bit, getting out of this whole messaging thing with social justice and all that, and just get back to making quality films. So we'll see what happens there. But one of the other things that has really catapulted is the fan base. There's been a huge influx of fans in the kaiju genre, and that's a good thing. And there's many different generations of fans. I think the sad thing is there seems to be a lot of gatekeeping. Now, I'm going to be doing a video soon kind of addressing the fan base recently and some of the gatekeeping that's been going on, and some of the I guess, I hate to use this word, but it is what it is, toxicity. Now, this is not exclusive to the Godzilla genre or the kaiju genre, and this is not anything new. A lot of people, you'll hear them say, oh, the Godzilla fan base is toxic. And if that's the word you want to use, that's fine. However way you want to describe it, that's something that's been going on for years. It's just more out there now because there's so many more fans. And I kind of feel like the new fans coming in are kind of getting gate kept. So we'll talk more about that in another video. I want to kind of just reflect on 2023. But yeah, in terms of 2023, it was a great year. It was a great year, and I think it's something we should savor. I think it's definitely something we should take away from, because we don't know if we're going to get a year like that again. I mean, we'll have Godzilla Fest this year, and I'm sure they'll do, I'm not sure what the anniversary movie is this year. I'm pretty sure it's Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla, so I'm pretty sure they'll have something special for that. But beyond that, and beyond Godzilla x Kong, it's just going to be a year where we're going to kind of wait on bated breath for news. You know, Monarch Legacy of Monsters, You know, are there any other Godzilla projects in the works for Toho that we might hear about later this year? Are we gonna? Well, I'm sure we'll be getting more media content. There's always comic books and stuff like that. But in terms of the sheer amount of like TV shows we got and things of that nature, I don't. I'm getting notifications while I'm recording a video. That's funny. Sorry about that. Yeah, I think 2023 was great, and 2024 is going to be a little bit more mellow, a little bit more quiet. But I think that's more a reason why I look back on 2023 and realize that we had a fantastic year. It was a lot of fun, and I hope we get a year like that again. But I'm willing to bet we won't. Now, in terms of the MonsterVerse, as to whether or not it's going to end this year or not, this is a question I've always answered and I've always tackled for the last couple of years, and I think this time I'm not gonna bother. Whatever happens, happens. I'm just gonna enjoy this ride for however long it lasts. Like I said many times, I have been through 4 kaiju / Godzilla droughts, right? From when I was a kid to 1985, from 1985 to 1993. You know, even though the movies came out, the first movie came out in Japan in '89, I didn't get it over here. We didn't get it over here till like '93. And then you had the Heisei series, and then you had the Millennium series, and then you had another gap from 2004 to 2014. So I'm mentally preparing myself for when that day comes. I'm not going to worry about when this ends or not. I'm just going to enjoy the ride, and you know, because for me this could be the last one. You know, if once Godzilla's run is over, and there might be a drought that lasts long enough that I may not make the next time Godzilla makes an appearance again. So, you know, as time passes on, things like this, droughts get longer and longer. And when you consider the kind of run we're on right now, it'll reach its point to a much lesser degree. It'll reach the same point as where the comic book genre is now, where people just get tired of it. That's inevitable. And when you consider this run has gone for as long as it has, it usually means that the following drought lasts just as long. So I have to savor this, definitely. So, but anyway, guys, that's it for this video. I just kind of wanted to do a little look back review, or a look back at 2023. It was a fantastic year. It was sad that I missed most of it in terms of video content. I was there for streams almost every weekend. But now that 2024 is here, now that I have my little space, I don't like to call it a studio, it's not a studio. But now that I have my own space in my new house, I'm able to do videos now. And I'm hoping to do at least 1 or 2 a week, if not more. And for whatever is to come, I definitely want to be there for it. So I look forward to seeing you guys in the comment section. We're going to do a video tomorrow talking about that toxicity in the fan base. Something I kind of want to address, and might look a little bit different because I want to do this one early, so there's not going to be any lights or anything like that. So anyway, that's it for this video. In the comment section, let me know, what was your favorite part of this renaissance in 2023? What was it during the kaiju run in 2023 that really stood out to you and really made you happy? I'm be interested to check it out. I know it's going to be -1 up the ass, but that's fine. That's fine. If that's how you feel, that's fine. And let me know in the comment section. I look forward to seeing that. Until next video, this is Rob signing off for E.T.N, where we don't do news, we just talk entertainment. Take it easy.